Gotta watch that 5-round MMA,
Welcome
y'all.
everyone, this is 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host Guillermo Cita. We got Albert Cita. Guys, the 3MB, the band's back together again.
The three amigos.
The three-man band is back together. We got Guillermo Cita in-house, in studio, not on the phone from Orlando, California. It's going to be a permanent thing now, the three of us in studio again, back again.
There'll still be a couple of weeks where I'm still back in Florida, but hopefully in late July, you guys will see my face every week.
Back again. Albert Cita still messing around with some of the audio equipment here. This week is going to be pretty much all UFC 225. It was a huge card. A lot of stories happened, a lot of needle moving because of it before and after. So we're just going to get right into it. Before that, actually, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors for sweeping LeBron James out of the finals.
I was still trying to figure out a way if they could just like restart the playoffs. But there's no way.
It was kind of unceremonious on a Friday night, right? It was like before 8 o'clock the game was over.
Dude, I had no idea the game was even on.
Pacific time, like it was like 7:30 the game was over already. I was like, oh wow, this is happening today. All right.
I get that ESPN notification thing.
Yeah.
They didn't even notify me. I didn't even get a thing that said your new champion.
Yeah.
Don't say words or anything.
Also,
like
too, hockey's over too.
I got that notification that the Knights lost. Good run by Las Vegas, and they couldn't take it home.
That was their first season, right?
Yeah, that was their first ever season, and they made it all the way. But the Washington Capitals ended up winning, and that's Washington Capitals' first ever. Was it Washington?
Yeah, Washington
Capitals.
Yeah, that was their first ever NHL Cup too. So
Wow.
big history, history in hockey.
Now it's time for the World Cup.
Now it's time for the World Cup next, even though Guillermo just told me that it's still going on despite the USA not being involved. To my surprise, I was like, what the heck? I thought like the USA is out of it.
I thought automatically.
Well, even when they're in it, you wouldn't even know. So
because they're one and done, or one round and they're out. All right, let's get to mixed martial arts. UFC 225 took place this past Saturday. Main event, it was supposed to be between a middleweight championship bout between Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero, but Yoel Romero misses weight by like half a pound, 0.2 pounds. Commission said, you know what, you're done. You're not cutting weight anymore. It's now a non-title fight. Whittaker said, you know what, I'm going to happen. This fight's going to happen, and it turned out to be a pretty good fight. People are saying maybe fight of the year so far. We're halfway into the year. Real quick assessment, Guillermo, Robert Whittaker's performance, broken hand and all.
Again, it showed his heart. I mean, he was rocked so many times in that fight. I just think, all in all, there's a reason why Robert Whittaker is the champion. I think it shows that Yoel Romero is that unstoppable piece of stone that no one can break down. But Robert Whittaker finds a way through toughness, through adversity, through injury. Because if you look at the last fight, he fought with the messed up knee the whole entire fight. This time he fights with a broken hand. So all props to Robert Whittaker. He's a beast.
Albert.
Yeah, props to Yoel Romero for
get out of here. First, make weight
for saying it, but that's what I was gonna get. But let's not forget the bigger picture in this whole thing, which has been the hottest topic in MMA right now, and that's weight cutting.
Yeah.
When Dana White said he might move the weight cuts back to the afternoon, there was an uproar with the MMA fighters saying that's dumb. Why don't you ask an MMA fighter? They prefer to weigh in the morning. And he did not help the cause by not coming in championship weight and potentially almost jeopardizing this main event. And I think that's the bigger story here, the fact that he didn't make weight. And to tell you the truth, it was fight of the night, of course. Could have been, is it fight of the year? Most likely. But now it's tarnished because Yoel Romero did not make weight. And you guys need to understand that when it comes to being an elite organization, you got to do the rules. I mean, that's what makes it elite. I mean, you never hear, like in boxing, it's the weight is such a big issue and stuff like that. But when it comes down to the big fights, they make weight. And I think this is a tarnish, I guess, in the MMA thing, just because we've had the whole topic of changing it, and then now you have one of the biggest fights ever, probably in the history of MMA.
An asterisk next to it.
And now we have an asterisk because Yoel Romero didn't make weight.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. So the fight was amazing. Do you run it back now? Whittaker is now 2-0 against Yoel Romero, both decision victories. First one's unanimous. This one was split. Do you run it back, Guillermo, hoping that Romero he makes weight this time?
Yes, you run it back. You run it back a third time.
What? Okay.
As I was looking at the rankings, I'll tell you why. Luke Rockhold retired, basically. Chris Weidman got destroyed by Yoel Romero. Kevin Gastelum got destroyed by Chris Weidman, who got destroyed by Yoel Romero. Jacare Sousa just got demolished by Kevin Gastelum, who lost to Chris Weidman, who lost to Yoel Romero.
Okay.
So at the end of I can continue on and on and on and on. There's nobody. Don't get me wrong. The middleweight has a lot of contenders. All of them at any point can go on a quick little run because it's so deep. But at the end of the day, nobody has gotten through Yoel Romero. Until I see that happen, he's the only threat to that middleweight title.
Yeah, the last only two people to go through him is Robert Whittaker.
Guillermo can be so much more wrong. It's clearly Kevin Gastelum's up next.
Yeah.
Do I want to see the Yoel Romero one run back eventually? Not right away. I'd rather see that down the road.
Yeah.
But I think Kevin Gastelum's the next one to step up, and I think he deserves the next house shot. Guillermo doesn't know what he's talking about. Chris Weidman used his heavyweight to beat Kevin Gastelum, but. Just so you know, Robert Whittaker used to be in the welterweight division, moved up to the middleweight division, and guess what? Kevin Gastelum used to be in the welterweight division, moved to the middleweight division. We clearly saw that Yoel Romero was the bigger fighter that day on fight night, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Gastelum's not going to have to worry about the weight. We can see actually two fighters where the weight doesn't really matter that much go at it. So for people to think that that's not the next upcoming matchup, you're crazy. It has to be Kevin Gastelum versus Robert
Albert.
Whittaker.
So he broke his arm, right?
Hand,
His hand. He's gonna be out for a while. Yoel Romero, besides that eye, I think he looked pretty good at the end of the fight. He was walking normal, whatever. Let's hope.
What are you proposing here?
Yoel Romero versus Kevin Gastelum. If Kevin Gastelum is the next in line, get through Yoel Romero. Nobody has gotten through Yoel Romero besides Robert Whittaker. So until you eliminate Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, let's take it back to another weight class. Until you get through that guy, because that's a joke. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Colby Covington for the interim belt.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that for
this next round.
But nonetheless, unless you get through Yoel Romero, do not even mention a title shot against Robert Whittaker.
I like that. Real quick, Whittaker is a broken hand. Is it just me, or does he tend to be injured a lot for recently?
When you go through again, Yoel Romero
twice, right? That's what he does. He just hurts you.
Exactly.
You're gonna beat him, but he hurts you.
Yeah. Before that, when did you really hear about Robert Whittaker's injuries? I mean, that guy is built like. If you talk about a perfect physique, if you talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger, Yoel Romero is the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I want them to test his bone density. I think that guy must be adamantium or something underneath that.
I mean, he's like the perfectly built human being.
That's it for round number one. We're going to take a small break and come back and continue this UFC 225 recap with the co-main event, Colby Covington. We are now in the Colby Covington era, the chaos era.
Oh, God.
See if the chaos theory can sustain more. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number two. Co-main event for UFC 225 was Colby Covington versus Rafael Dos Anjos for the interim welterweight title. And safe to say the next big thing is here. The chaos, the era of chaos is happening. Colby Covington defeats Rafael Dos Anjos via unanimous decision, 49-46, 48-47, 48-47. Cuts a promo where he says he's going to take the belt to Donald Trump and put it on the desk. Is he the next big villain in MMA, Guillermo? He already is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he already is. I mean, I can't stand the guy, but at the same time, I don't even know how he got into the matchup to begin with. I mean, like,
talked his way into it.
I guess because I don't think he's deserving. I mean, if you look at the rankings alone, first of all, it doesn't make any sense why Rafael Dos Anjos is ranked number one. To be honest with you, but then I look at number two and number three, who just threw it down. And so if you really think about it, those two guys should have been somewhat of had a little bit of say in it, but I felt like it wasn't a needle mover per se. It was more like, is Darren Till the real deal? But he's ranked number 3.
Yeah.
Actually number 2 now. And yet you have the number 4 guy, Colby Covington. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And then the other thing too is like, where's Tyron Woodley at? I mean, is he hurt or what? Because if not, dude, just let Darren Till destroy Colby Covington.
Yeah.
And let's do the Darren Till era.
Well, Tyron Woodley I think he's supposed to be injured or going to some surgery. That's why they did this interim title. He's supposed to be back in time to like not miss any time at all, really. So he was kind of upset that they did this interim belt at all in the first place, and he put a tweet out saying F this B word, let's run it now or whatever, something like that, some derogative. And then
I don't know why he's saying that. He ain't gonna run.
But you said like, how did Colby Covington come into this era? Isn't Tyron Woodley a little bit to blame, Albert, for this? Because like obviously
he's 100% to blame.
So let's say
when you look at all the greatest villains out there, the Joker, all them, you know who made them? The anti-hero made him, and the anti-hero Tyron Woodley made Colby Covington come out.
Well, because like the first thing, the welterweight division, were the post GSP era was Robbie Lawler. He was having all these wars. He didn't cut the best promo, but this guy's going out there having battle after battle. Then he gets knocked out by Tyron Woodley. Then the momentum of the division stops because he wants super fights now, and he wants super fights. Talking this, talking that. He's getting laughed at by bigger middleweights because he says he's gonna move up in the division. He's gonna fight Conor McGregor. People just laugh at him, and all the momentum stops.
And then he has 2 lackluster performances against Wonderboy. Don't forget that they're lackluster performances.
And then another lackluster performance against Damian Maia. So now, enter Colby Covington. He's doing the Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor thing where I'm talking about title shot.
Shocking the system.
This is where he's
a modern day villain. I've always said the best villains in comic books and in any storytelling, whatever, is a reflection of today's society. And I think Colby Covington has understood that. He said, I know what gets down in people's skin. I know what a villain in today's era is, and that's Colby Covington. The guy I love and hate him at the same time. That's how I know he's a good villain. I hate everything he says. I don't like what he stands for, but I can't stop watching.
Well, the good thing too is Tyron Woodley was complaining about super fights. There's 3 major super fights within that welterweight weight class now. I mean, if you talk about Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington, that's gonna main event a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
But then you got Darren Till and you got the dangerous Kamaru Usman. So you got 3 guys. Even if Colby Covington beats Tyron Woodley, you still have that Colby Covington versus Darren Till, Colby Covington versus Usman, which would be very, very interesting fight. So
yeah. I mean, again, we're talking about this last week about what would happen if Tyron Woodley, and Colby Covington actually face off. And I thought maybe best case scenario, this brings out like an angry Tyron Woodley. You know what I mean? Like he has a guy who has 6 career KOs in his career, but he has that power. Maybe we can just kind of get that out of him and see maybe he's angry enough to beat up Colby Covington, and maybe we can start this era of like an excitement for this guy.
And if you think about it, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he's a very respectable guy.
Yeah.
Colby Covington seems to get under everybody's skin. I mean, even Rafael Dos Anjos leading up to the fight was pretty upset leading into it. I mean, the guy's pretty calm himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anybody can really get Tyron Woodley upset, I think it's Colby Covington. And maybe we see the Tyron Woodley that we know when he was knocking out Josh Koscheck and ending careers from other guys. So.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, right?
All I gotta say is Covington is the villain we deserve. Not that
God.
Right? At the moment, with Conor McGregor MIA, we need somebody to kind of boo, right? So, and Matt Serra's retired, so I had nobody to boo. So that's it for round number 3. We're gonna come back into this UFC 225 discussion with the women's bout, Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson, which kind of just left more question marks in the air for both the women's featherweight and the women's bantamweight divisions. So do not go anywhere. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Time for the 3rd round. I'll just noted that all my sources were leaked right now.
Wikipedia.
It's easier, it loads up faster. Let's talk about the women's featherweight bout between Holly Holm and Megan Anderson. Holly Holm defeats Megan Anderson via unanimous decision, and just kind of throws a wrench into the UFC's plans for the featherweight division and maybe for the women's bantamweight division as well. Holly Holm, after the victory, kind of said, "You know what? I'm going to go back." She hinted like, "You know what? Bantamweight's my home. I actually want to go there." And after the win, she called out So they didn't really call it the champ. She said, I want my belt back. To which Amanda Nunes said, let's run it back. Well, this kind of leaves a big hole in the women's featherweight division. That's now just Cyborg and nobody else, because Megan Anderson was the best shot to challenge Cyborg. And you think, okay, let me get one belt, one win under the UFC. It's a former champion, Holly Holm, and then I could go challenge Cyborg. Now she loses, and now Cyborg is MIA without a opponent, especially since Holly Holm is calling out Amanda Nunes, and Nunes agrees, let's run it back again. So, was this victory from Holly Holm a good thing or a bad thing for the UFC's plan for the women's division?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm at the UFC website right now. There is no women's featherweight ranking.
It's been like that for quite some time.
So
since the beginning of the division, there hasn't been any rankings.
To answer your question, I decided to go to the women's bantamweight to look at the rankings. Number one is Holly Holm. So, I mean, for her, she has the case too for a championship belt, regardless of what weight class. But we've seen what Cyborg is and how dominant she is, where Amanda Nunes has losses in the past. And, I mean, if you're talking about the easiest path toward a championship belt, I would say the path of Amanda Nunes. So if I'm Holly Holm, if you're really doing this strategically, I would go Amanda Nunes, get the belt, and now let's run it champion versus champion.
Cyborg.
If I'm in Holly Holm's management team, I'm like, Holly Holm, you'll have a belt and you get to challenge Cyborg.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about cash money, pay-per-view.
And it's pretty much people are saying that Holly Holm gave Cyborg the biggest challenge of her career, right? They went the distance, so that was a kind of fight here. Albert, if you're the UFC in the meantime, do you wait for that, or do you try to convince people, hey, Megan Anderson can be a legit threat to Cyborg? Because she's 8-3 now.
That's the matchup to do. Holly Holm is going to go down. Megan Anderson's the one that has to face against Cyborg, and it may be crazy to throw out there, but it's the truth because we've seen crazier things. She can potentially compete against Cyborg still, even with this loss. We have seen other fighters coming off losses, be in a championship position for some weird reason, or like a main fight. So I don't. Even if Megan Anderson doesn't fight somebody else before Cyborg, I wouldn't even be surprised if she fights Cyborg next. With that said, too, what I do want to throw out there, I think that fight was a perfect example how the best fighter doesn't always win. Meg Anderson is clearly heads and shoulders have more potential and is the better fighter than Holly Holm.
Well, she's younger.
But the fact
That makes no sense.
But the fact was
Rafael Dos Anjos is a better fighter than
But
Colby
the fact
Covington.
was Holly Holm had the game plan to beat her, and all she had to do was just take her down, and she got lucky that she got those takedowns. I think if Anderson was a little bit more prepared, that fight would have been completely different. But I think it's a perfect example
That's the
of a
dumbest thing I've
fighter,
ever heard
of the
ever
best
say.
fighter not winning a fight.
It's chess, not checkers, dude. So as long as you're playing checkers, I mean, you're always gonna be so one-dimensional. If you're playing chess, you're gonna find these strategies. It doesn't matter if you're talented. I mean, that is part of your talent is sticking to a game plan. If your coaches didn't train you properly, that's on you, man. You're the one it's like
That's the cam, not the fighter.
oh god. So what you're telling me is like any other sport, the coach is pointless. I mean, like you can have all the skill levels, but if the coach doesn't put you in position to win, you're gonna lose.
Okay, just look at the Patriots alone. Are they player by player? Do they have the best players? No, but they got the best team that runs the right plays. Is what I'm trying to say. The best team doesn't always win, Guillermo. And in this case, the best fighter did not win. They just did not capitalize on the game plan. The other person had the game plan perfectly. The other one didn't. They didn't execute. But the better player was It was Anderson, clearly.
I mean, it's like saying Allen Iverson should have won a championship ring, right?
Charles Barkley should have won one too, bro.
But that's not the case. I mean, like,
or like LeBron should have won against the Warriors.
He has a ring, Alex, and that's why I was trying to avoid that. But the last point I want to make is how Amanda Nunes has been quiet in all this. I think Amanda Nunes, if she really wanted Cyborg, she can have it. And
I think so too, yeah. But as soon as Holly Holm said, she tweeted out, "Let's do it."
Yeah, I know. So it shows you that Amanda Nunes is scared to fight a Cyborg. So if anything, I mean, Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holm is that little scapegoat from.
Yeah, so she's calling me out. Let's run it back again. Come on.
Yeah.
That's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. First with Mobilitas. Mobility Tool is the best durable portable manufactured release products designed with more grip to help you restore muscle to its original health. Use promo code 5ROUNDMMA. It's number 5ROUNDMMA for 20% off your order. That's 5ROUNDMMA, the number 5, followed by ROUNDMMA for 20% off your order. Visit yourjointshouldhurt.com and also follow them on social media. And a big shout out to 5 Rounds clothing line. 5 Rounds offer a unique collection of apparel and accessories. They incorporate the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They're constantly evolving and improving to become the best fightwear company in the MMA world. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And visit 5rounds.clothing. That's 5rounds.clothing. And, of course, a big shout-out to our good friends at FightBookMMA.com, now partnered with the USA Today Sports. FightBookMMA.com is the only place you'll find real combat news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing, all sorts of combat sports. They cover from the major promotions to the local ones. They support local MMA as well. They have a great podcast section, which we're under there, and a great collection of combat sports podcasts. That's FightBookMMA.com. Bookmark it. Follow them on all forms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Welcome back. 4th round here. Let's cover the rest of UFC 225. There are CM Punk against Mike Jackson. Curtis Blades knocking out Alistair Overeem. Claudio Garcia defeating Carlos Esparza. Mr. Rod Big Check defeating Ricardo Lamas. Got Anthony Smith knocking out Rashad Evans. Jojo Pettis beating Joseph Benavidez. Charles Oliveira defeating Clay Guida, and so on and so forth. We don't start with Albert.
I actually want to start off with the flyweights.
Okay.
I think that was probably one of the more important storylines. It's one of the more important storylines of the whole fight card. We thought we were going to see, I think, someone that was going to contend next for Mighty Mouse position, probably running back. And the only thing that happened was my boy Henry Cejudo got the spot because both Sergio Pettis and Joseph Benavidez did not do enough to get their rematches. And I think that's a huge story. Like Guillermo's over there shaking his head, but we're trying to keep the flyweights alive here, Guillermo.
Well, the problem that happened, it was on the prelims, right? You couldn't even watch it on free TV. You gotta have the UFC fight
pass. That's time I followed that.
So that's one. Two, you announced Henry Cejudo almost simultaneous, almost right
because
before the fight. It had nothing to do with that.
I think it had to do with the fight.
It just shows
the announcement came after the fight.
I'm not sure. We'll
check the timeline.
If somebody can put a comment and get this guy on check. But regardless, Sergio Pettis versus Joseph Benavidez was irrelevant just because they knew that fight, whoever won was not going to get Demetrius Johnson, to me. And the fact that it wasn't even national, available for people to see was a waste of my time.
And Guillermo just gave the perfect example why the flyweight division is at where it's at. If you don't put it in the premium spots, how are we supposed to follow these storylines?
But then if you have lackluster performances, you just said it was a lackluster performance.
It was a lackluster performance, but the story was there. We had Joseph Benavidez returning after a long period.
We were promised flying off the cages. We were promised.
But if we don't see it,
they're not delivering, though. That's the problem.
My point was, they're killing the division. They're killing the division, and hopefully Henry,
the own fighters are killing the division.
No,
not the organization.
Hopefully, my boy Henry Cejudo is gonna bring back the status that the flyweight division deserves.
No, it starts from the top up. It's the fighters that.
Yeah, and Mighty Mouse is the bornest fighter I've ever seen. And I have seen Rich Franklin fight.
So let's talk. What I want to really point out, the biggest thing of what happened last night in terms of needle mover, besides the two co-main events, was Alistair Overeem versus Curtis Blades.
How was that?
Well, I'll tell you why.
It just reminded me of how horrible the heavyweight division is right now. How horrible it is.
Let's talk about the infusion of new blood into the heavyweight division.
Curtis Blades was boring and almost got beat by Overeem.
He as a TK, it knocked him out. What are you talking about? There was blood everywhere. Alistair Overeem.
That was pretty nasty, bro.
Overeem had to be walked off the cage.
After I saw some lazy wrestling, finally put the guy down. Congratulations, you beat Overeem. Which heavyweight in the UFC can't say that?
So this is the point. Alistair Overeem is the second ranked heavyweight person right now.
Who's beat half division, the other half division.
Curtis Blades is number 4. But if you look at 1, 3, 4, because we're gonna skip Alistair Overeem, who's probably going to go down all the way to number 9 or number 10 by Andre Arlovski.
I agree with that.
I don't want to see Curtis Blades fight no one.
But let me
Curtis Blades on the card. I'm not even excited.
Well,
all you're doing is reminding me how horrible the heavyweight division is right now. How horrible the heavyweight division is.
Well, let me give you some names. You got the champ, Stipe Miocic, Francis Ngannou. You have Alexander Volkov. You have Curtis Blades. You have Derek Lewis. And now you have Marcin Tybura.
That's new.
So you got 7 guys.
That's pretty new. That's
to
a new
mix
name.
it up to at least contend to a championship. It's not the Andre Arlovski. It's not the Junior Dos Santos. It's not Cain Velasquez. It's not Verdun. It's not Alistair Overeem. 5 names just got replaced.
I like it.
Thank you.
Andre Arlovski
sucks. Lost.
Yeah, he lost.
Retired.
But he still put up a fight.
Gatekeeper,
and he couldn't get put away.
Gatekeeper,
which I think
Dos Santos gatekeeper,
which says even more.
Gatekeeper,
and then you let Curtis Blades, who struggled against Overeem until the very end. He finally landed an elbow, sure, but watch the whole fight. He struggled the whole fight. Andre Arlovski could have probably won that fight. He probably could have won that fight. Obviously, you didn't watch the fight.
Alistair Overeem ran away from Curtis Blades the whole entire fight.
He landed some vicious shots on Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades finally got a takedown. They had such a horrible performance. It was a snort fest up to the Robert Whittaker fight. It's the truth.
I just wanted to say it's good to have Guillermo back in the studio because him over the phone gets you a little mad, Albert, but him in person gets you really
mad.
We talk about a weight class is dying, and now an infusion of a new weight class that was dying on us.
Now that the madness is gone, man, did they cheat out my girl Carla Esperado?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Come on, man. I thought she won that fight.
Flip a coin. I think didn't matter. No.
I think she did enough to win that fight.
The division's kind of in flux right now too, and also I think CM Punk's done fighting right now. He's done.
Yeah,
He's done.
Just cut it.
Yeah.
Cut him.
He did it 2-0. Good for you.
It's funny because before the round even started, we said we're going to talk about CM Punk. We didn't even get a chance to talk about him.
Because there's nothing to talk about.
Plus,
Wrestling, non-wrestling, CM Punk should never be talked
He
about.
should have done the GTS.
Yeah, and every other podcast is going to cover that to death. So we want to cover the stuff.
Best in the world, right, guys?
Yeah.
Woo!
It's going to be like whatever.
It's funny because then he picked CM Punk on the picks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did, by the way.
No, but hey, now I would pick anybody that if you train at your local UFC gym, I would have picked you over Jackson. So I don't know what that says about
If
it.
you've done like one taekwondo class, you'd have picked him.
Yeah. If you did at least 2 taekwondo classes, I would have picked you over Jackson. We just covered some amateur bouts. I would have picked half those guys over Jackson.
True. Even Dana White says he's done fight the UFC. He'll never fight the UFC.
Come on, that guy was trash too.
You win and you get
Get
cut.
out of here.
Yeah, I know, right? That's it for the 4th round. We got one more round coming up. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back. 5th and final round. What happened, Miro?
I just want to correct myself. If you guys heard the last round, it was actually Tai Tuivasa
Who knocked out or who beat Arlovsky?
who beat Arlovsky.
Yeah.
Who is a cool character, by the way.
By the way. 5th and final round here. Let's talk about the UFC moving to the old weigh-in system per Dana White. He says he's tired of these early morning weigh-ins because too many people are missing weight. He's sick of it, so he's going back to the 4 p.m. weigh-ins. I think what's going to be the ceremonial weigh-ins are now going to be the official weigh-ins now. Little mixed bag. Some fighters are saying, no, I like it better in the morning. That way I can wake up, make weight, and then go back and recover the rest of the day. Some Dana White saying, hey, you know what? These guys are fighters. They like to sleep in. They're going to give them more time to cut weight. As before, guys were staying up all night to cut weight. Eddie Alvarez says, hey, you know what? I'm a fighter. I'm going to make weight no matter what. Whatever the weigh-ins is, that's my job. So he's one guy who's kind of against it. Didn't want to name any names, but he says everybody wants it. Again, that's kind of like a blanket statement.
Say names.
Yeah.
Say names or I'll believe it.
Will this help Guillermo make weight? Because pretty much every card now, it seems somebody's missing weight. This is more especially with Yoel Romero.
Well, it doesn't matter when when you weigh somebody. Everybody has the exact same time, the exact same date that they had to meet weight.
Yeah.
It comes down to how well are they preparing to that weight cut. I mean, if they're cutting weight way too late, I mean, that's their own fault. Maybe the coaching, the management, the
nutritionist
isn't really being used or utilized to the full extent. I mean, if you look at any other sport, you put a rule in place, everybody has to compromise to it. Yes, some people are against it, some people are for it, but it's the same across the board. As long as everybody understands that, whether it was in the morning or in the afternoon, everybody has the same disadvantage or advantage. So.
What do you think, Errol? Albert?
My whole thing is I think people are now overlooking the two sides of when it comes to health and safety. There's one side that I think everybody always sees how grueling the weight cut is and that they should need more time to cut the weight and stuff like that. But people forget it's also very unsafe for them to fight if they're not fully hydrated.
Well, then don't fight in that weight class. Fight in the appropriate weight class. Why cut down? If you're not good enough to fight in your weight class, then you shouldn't be fighting in period.
I agree with that too, but I'm just saying, if we're looking out for the safety of the fighters, it's easier for them to recover if they weigh in the morning. They got that whole day to recover before they can even go to the fight.
That was the thinking, right?
Yeah, and to me, that's more important than these missed weights. Missed weights are going to happen because they happen before in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think this has to do with fighter safety. They should keep it in the morning, and I think they have more time to nourish themselves, and we get to see the best fight possible come fight day. And on top of that, let's all keep it real, guys. It's better to weigh yourselves in the morning because we weigh less. And I have never weighed myself at night. I always weigh myself in the morning.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is, I'm no one to talk because I'm fat. I admit it. But at a certain point, I played collegiate soccer. I mean, when I was playing collegiate soccer, we had to be on cue in terms of eating right, exercising, because the minute preseason start, you had to be at a certain weight, you had to run a certain miles, you had to meet these certain time things. And so taking little shortcuts like eating inappropriately, eating pizza, eating hamburgers was not allowed, because if you did that, you're not gonna be benched because you're not gonna make.
I think if you do all those precautions like you said, you're gonna make weight in the morning.
Well,
I'm talking about that post. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think if Romero was better prepared, regardless if it was morning or afternoon, he would have made the weight. But what I'm talking about is the recovery. You're pushing the recovery time even less, and I'd rather see the fighters perform in their best potential than see someone that hasn't even fully hydrated yet.
Well, my thing is why don't they move it can still be at 4 p.m., but why not move it back one day? That way they still have that extra day to fully recover. before the fight.
Well, then you can pack a lot of weight, dog. Then there's a disadvantage to that.
Well, I think, Albert, because we've covered a lot of amateur events too,
Yeah.
and it's always in the amateur level. It's all about the fighter's safety, right?
Yeah.
So what do they do for weigh-ins? You got to weigh in the morning, the day of, right? Because obviously these are amateurs. They don't.
By the way, I have never seen so much catch weights in my life since we started covering amateurs.
Yeah, well, because it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast.
You want to talk about struggling making weight? These amateurs, it's almost half those fights are catch weight because there's no.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's my point is that they should be people should be fighting at the appropriate weight class. Look
Yeah.
at the Frankie Edgars of the world. When does he have to really lose weight? And if he does, it's just
In both weight classes.
in both weight classes. You
Yeah.
look at Eddie Alvarez. Well, why are the guys that are in shape not complaining?
Yeah.
Right? It's because they're fighting in their natural weight class.
Yeah.
When you talk about, let's take Kevin Gastelum for example. That's hard to make weight
Yeah.
himself as well. I mean, if he fought at the appropriate weight class, don't you think he would take it a little bit serious and always make weight?
Like Yoel Romero, for example. He's too big for the middleweight, but too small for light heavyweight because it's height-wise. You think if he fought like at 195, he'd have trouble missing weight? Probably not, right?
No.
He'd probably be on point, right?
Yeah.
Hector Lumber was in the same boat.
Yeah.
He was way too small for a middleweight, but he was
Too muscular for a welterweight.
Yeah, and you could see in his performance
Yeah.
how the guy was so like lack of nutrition on him.
So I thought we would hit this point, but I just want to put this out there. There needs to be punishment for Yoel Romero. How dare he come 2 fights in a row without making weight?
Well, he didn't
Be
lose
the
30% of his purse.
Regardless, I mean, like how.
And I know Yoel Romero.
People have gotten fired for less.
Yeah.
Or cut for less.
There's no way you're gonna cut Yoel Romero, bro.
I'm just saying. If you're talking about consistency and not people not getting a pass. I mean, this guy missed weight twice.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this week's show. Good to have Guillermo back in studio. Got Albert all heated up and riled up.
It's hot up in here.
A big,
Put a temperature gauge next time you guys
a
see
big
how hot
shout
it is up
out
in
and
here.
thank you to the rest of our sponsors, Diazyme Supplements with Morals, products that promote active lifestyle, improve athletic performance, and provide health benefits. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Diazyme and visit diazyme.com. Also, Girl Gang Wraps hand clothing. Hand wraps and clothing. Girl Gang Wraps was created with a girl that practices martial arts but also likes to make a fashion statement. Fight gear for the fight babe. Fight like a badass girl and badass apparel. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Girl Gang Wraps and visit girlgangwraps.com and always follow us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Visit FiveRoundMMA.com and like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. And a big shout out to Dose Leprechauns podcast. Leprechaun Nate and Jason give it to you straight. Notre Dame football, mixed martial arts, professional wrestling, sports, all in one great show. That's Dose Leprechauns podcast. Follow them on all forms of social media as well. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to give a quick PSA out there because with the World Cup starting up, I know a bunch of people are going to get soccer fever out there. And the United States, unfortunately, did not make the World Cup.
But they looked good against France yesterday.
They tied against. But I know the fever is going to be strong. I hear you guys. But just so you know, there is a cure. It's the LAFC. You want to get rid of that soccer fever? Go check out Bank Stadium. Beautiful stadium. If you're in the Inland Empire, hit up Golden Wings. It's the Inland Empire's only. It should be the only crew that follows the LAFC. So go look up Golden Wings.
Where do they meet at?
We haven't got a meeting place yet.
No?
But go ahead and follow us, and then you'll get more information. But I just want you to know, if you got that fever, I got the cure.
Fridays.
Yeah. The last thing I want to leave with is how dare he's such a hypocrite. Who has a nickname as Chaos and be a champ and someone so structured, so formal, right? And Chaos being his nickname. I'm talking about Covington.
It's because he's causing chaos.
Causing
God.
Woo!
I thought you were bringing structure and formality to it, or make America great again.
That's not what the Joker brought.
Chaos.
Oh yeah, the cream of the crop.
Thanks for tuning in